Tech family, we are coming to the most important laptop buying season, Black Friday, and of course the holidays, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, etc. Now, what I thought I'd do today is just talk ad hoc about the laptops that I actually use. Because at the end of the day, you know, I can, and tech reviewers can say, we can talk up lots of different laptops, but I think the ultimate test is which laptops do we actually use. So today, I'm going to tell you which ones I use. Now, it's going to be completely off the cuff. You guys said you'd like that style of video. I did it for the Dell XPS 9310 review when I was in Arizona, so I thought I'd just do it like that. So there might be some ums, I might repeat myself, but here you go. The other reason I wanted to hop on tonight, which is a kind of selfish one, I guess, was you guys said you didn't like the lighting in my last video, and I don't blame you. I actually brought across the Aperture 120D Mark II, which I was using in my old apartment, which is a great light. But it's a great light when you're lighting a more, a smaller space. But here I'm lighting me and this entire background. So after that video went up, it was for the Inspiron, the one I actually have behind me, the Inspiron 7400. I knew I needed to fix the lighting. So I went straight out and I bought the Aperture 300D Mark II, which is a much more powerful light, which I have right here. And I put the Aperture 120D as more of like a hairlight rim light off to the side over here. And then the light that was lighting the plant, I've now kind of pushed back a little bit to light a little bit more of the background, and I put some Aperture lights behind me. So anyway, moral of the story, I wanted to test it out. Let me know what you think of the lighting, if you think it's better. Obviously, I'm still improving the studio, and I kind of like going on this journey with you of like improvement. I just think life's a journey, right? We want to just constantly improve. Anyway, back to the content. Which laptops do I actually use? I'm gonna start with the Macbook Pro 16. This is my favorite laptop, and if I only could own one laptop, it would be it. Now, it's funny because this is the only laptop out of all of these that either didn't come out in 2020 or hasn't had an upgraded version in 2020. But I just like it that much. Now, the two things that really separate this laptop from anything else is one, the build quality. Apple still leads in build quality. Honestly, Dell XPS 9310 that you see here, it comes pretty close, but Apple they're still in a league of its own. It's not just about the chassis. I mean, even though the chassis is very solidly constructed, I mean, look at this, right? The laptop doesn't depress in the screen when I press like that. The HP Omen, it goes down a bit here. Not so good, right? It's not just the chassis. It's also, when it comes to the keyboard, uniform feel. The trackpad, of course, right? Apple's trackpads still are the best. It's because they have that custom patented one where the trackpad itself doesn't move when you click, but it feels like it is. Whereas other laptops, if you click in the left and right corners, it's not as accurate in those places, and the trackpad, the whole thing kind of goes down. So you lose accuracy. The second point I mentioned is in terms of performance. The amount of power that they've been able to cram into this laptop is amazing. Honestly, it edits videos just as good as my HP Omen, if not better, and as good as my Aero 17, which are bigger laptops. My unit here, by the way, has the 8-core CPU. It's got the Radeon 5500M with 8 gigs of graphics RAM, and it's got 32 gig of RAM itself and a 1 terabyte SSD. Now, the other thing that's special about this, and this is going to be my third thing, is I really like that it can all be charged via USB-C. That's incredible because when I'm using this laptop around the house, I can use plenty of other USB-C chargers that I have, like the Dell XPS's one. So I don't have to carry a charging brick with me for this powerful laptop that it is when I'm using it, sitting up in bed, when I'm using it on the dining room table, etc. And talking about portability, this laptop with a 16-inch screen fits into a 15-inch laptop sleeve. And I did test this. It can be opened on a tray table in an economy class flight. Now, obviously, we're not flying around much right now, but that may matter in the future. So it really is my favorite laptop. It's powerful, it's high quality, it's super portable. The other thing that I wanted to mention, which is the fourth thing I like about this laptop, is the 16-inch screen. Having a screen that big and such a high quality screen means you can see so much information, which is great for productivity. When you're doing something like coding, like software development or video editing, you want to see a lot on the screen. You can get more done that way, and this laptop, you really don't need an external monitor for it. You can just see so much information. So it's great that, as I said, it's that portable and it's that productive. And I'm going to go for a fifth thing that I like about this laptop. It's this sound. The speakers on this laptop are truly phenomenal. Seriously, they are the best speakers by far of any laptop that's out there. And believe me, I've listened to a ton of them. They're better than all the speakers on all these other laptops on the table, and in fact, they're the only laptop speakers where I don't think you need to get an external Bluetooth speaker or plug it into a speaker system, because they are really that good. If you haven't heard them, I mean, honestly, you're missing out. They really are something spectacular. Now, I do want Apple to upgrade it, hopefully this year, because there are a couple of small things that I would like to see improved. The webcam is still only a 721. I'd love it to be at least 1080. I really think they could put a better webcam in this laptop. I would like to see even more power from the laptop, so upgraded components, but with the same thermal envelope. I mean, how good would it be if they put Ryzen in this laptop? It would be amazing, right? So I don't want it to get any warmer to the touch or any louder with fan noise, but that would be very helpful. The last thing that I would like to see improved about it, actually give me two more things, would be having an SD card reader. The kind of laptop that this is, and it's the people that it's aimed at, you know, photo editors, video editors, they use SD cards. That would be amazing. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be great. And then finally, the keyboard is a lot better than it used to be, but it's still not on par with some of the best keyboards out there. It really isn't. The key travel just isn't there, so I'd love it if there was better key travel on this keyboard, or at least it felt like it had more key travel. I don't think they're going to do that, but it would be really good. The next laptop that I use a lot is the Dell XPS 9310. This is my everyday casual laptop. I use it all the time. I write the scripts for the video on it. You know, I'm browsing the web on it, watching movies, etc., etc. It is, I just love how small and compact it is. It's so comfortable to just pick up and go, right? If I'm testing a laptop and need to jot down all the benchmark scores, this is the one I'm using. Now, normally I don't suggest buying a laptop as your primary device that has a 13.3-inch screen. I think it's too small to get work done. This laptop just crosses over that barrier. It's a 13.4-inch screen and it's got a 16:10 aspect ratio. So you do see a decent amount of like productivity, say Microsoft Word, content, or browsing the web. You do see a little bit more than you would on a 13.3-inch 16:9 screen. So I think this is doable as your only laptop. Now, I really like the build quality, similar to Apple's Macbook Pro 16. You feel like you're using something special when you use this laptop. I like how there's a USB-C port on either side of the laptop, so if you're plugging in a power cable or something like that, you don't have to run it around the back. I know I've mentioned this in a couple of my videos, but it is really convenient. The speakers are pretty decent. They're not as MacBook Pro 16 level, but they're still pretty good as well. And the keyboard, I really like typing on this laptop. It has one of the most comfortable keyboards I've ever used. They have improved the laptop as a whole in terms of performance and also the thermal envelope. The Dell XPS 9300, the prior generation of this that came out earlier in this year with the Intel's 10th gen, it was like a furnace. I mean, it was so hot. You could feel it on your lap burning up. It was really, really uncomfortable. And also the fan span up a lot. It got very loud. Now, this version, which is the newer version with Intel's 11th gen, it is a bit better. So it still gets very warm, but it doesn't get burning hot. You definitely notice it's getting warm. You also sometimes hear the fans, but it's not quite as bad as that laptop. Even though I have talked a lot of positives about this laptop, I am keeping my eyes and ears open that this is a laptop that I may replace if something better comes along that doesn't get so hot and so warm. The device that I've got my eye on is the HP Spectre 13.5-inch. It's marketed as the HP Spectre 14, but that one has an OLED screen. It's 3:2 aspect ratio, which is interesting. So that's going to be even more vertical content than this one has. So I've got one of those on the way coming in. So that's a laptop that may replace this one. We'll see, if it can handle thermals better. The other one that I would potentially consider is the MacBook Pro. Hopefully a 14-inch is coming out, but the 13 as well. That's a good device too. It's a lot bigger physically than this device, and it's got big bezels. So if they bring out a MacBook Pro 14, that would also be a device that I'd probably consider replacing this one with. Just before we move on, I thought it might be interesting for me to tell you the specs I have in it. I have the i7 version with 16 gig of RAM and a 512 gig SSD. I would normally get a 1 terabyte SSD, but I have so many around the house, and this is replaceable, so I'll probably just drop one in. The last one here, the HP Omen. The reason why I say it's the last one, obviously I got to get through these two as well, is this is the trio of laptops that I really use all the time. The HP Omen. This is a gaming laptop. I have the one with the incredible AMD Ryzen 4800H processor, 1660 Ti, and the 144Hz refresh rate screen. I have upgraded it with 32 gig of RAM and a second 2 terabyte drive. It's got a 512 gig drive that it came with. I intended to buy this laptop to use for both gaming because honestly, the MacBook Pro 16, it's a dreadful gaming experience. I really wanted to have a gaming laptop. And also, I was hoping that when I wasn't traveling and required something portable and powerful like the MacBook Pro 16, I could have an even more powerful laptop at home to do video editing. Now, unfortunately, Premiere Pro, and I've got the latest version, it still doesn't work that well on Ryzen, especially when you're editing in the timeline. I get so many dropped frames. It's very, very unfortunate because this laptop I'm really only using for gaming. Now, if you are a member of our Discord server, you'll notice that I play League of Legends quite a bit, and I do use this laptop. It is a phenomenal League of Legends experience because you get, 144 Hz refresh rate, so you get that fast refresh rate. And also I play a variety of other games, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1, etc. It has been a really, really good laptop. Now, it's not the same build quality as these two, but honestly, for the parts and the performance that you get, it's great. And as a lot of you will know, I like a really good screen, and this laptop has a phenomenal screen for what it is. It's much brighter than 300 nits, which is my minimum. It's also color accurate. It's around 100% sRGB, which is really, really good. I do like the keyboard. Honestly, it's a great laptop. So I really like it. Oh, and the other thing I'll say about it is the fans don't come on all the time. So you do hear them at times, but on the default mode, not the high performance mode, you really don't hear the fans that much, which is just so comforting to have the laptop there with you and you're just not disturbed when doing things. Let's move on to these two laptops here. These are my occasional laptops. Let's start with the Aero 17 HDR. This is the 9th gen version. I actually bought it not this year, but last year. It has been upgraded this year, but the upgrade was so minimal that I didn't bother replacing it. This is a 17-inch laptop. It's got the 4K display. Now, honestly, out of every laptop I've used, this has the best display of any laptop I've ever used. It is just an insanely color accurate display. It's bright, having 4K resolution in a 17-inch screen. I mean, I can bring Windows scaling down to 175% and see even more information than on a 1920 by 1080 screen, which is just great. So with that, this laptop is really good for programmers, and honestly, it's pretty good for gamers. One of the things that makes this so good for coders is the keyboard is very comfortable to use, and it doesn't get warm at all when under load. It's got an 8-core CPU, it's an Intel one. It's got a 2070 Max-Q GPU, so if you're not moving around a lot, and you're doing a lot of programming, and you want a game on the side, this is a great laptop to get. Now, the screen is only 60 FPS. You can get a fast refresh rate one, but for the type of games I do, when I bought this, I thought that 60 FPS would be fine, right? I'm playing League of Legends. Unfortunately, when I did get the HP Omen, I realized that a fast refresh rate does actually matter even for that game, but moral of the story is this. If you are a coder, this is a really good laptop. The reason that I don't use it all the time is because the fans do pulsate. So that means you kind of hear them coming on and then turning off. And it makes them even more disturbing than a laptop like this. And it happens even on quiet mode, right? It has a quiet mode. The fans overall aren't that loud, but because they keep coming on and off, you hear them. So that's why this laptop doesn't get a lot of use from me. Now, as I mentioned, the reason I say it's an excellent laptop for a coder is because often when you're coding, you're listening to music, right? So you won't notice it. So in that case, this is a very good laptop. It's also very portable, right? For what it is. As a 17-inch laptop, it's actually pretty small, the form factor of it. Unfortunately, of course, it doesn't charge by USB-C, so you will have to bring that big power brick with you. But overall, it is quite a portable laptop. It's got that edge-to-edge display. It does have a bit of a chin down the bottom of the screen, but overall, if you're not traveling that much, you need some portability, but not a lot. This is a good laptop to consider. Now, the last laptop here, the mythical Lenovo IdeaPad 515. And the reason why I say it's mythical is this thing is like almost always sold out. It is so popular, and I have the AMD Ryzen version, which is even more popular. And the reason is it's so frigging good. And let me tell you something. This laptop costs around $3,000. This laptop close to $2,000. This laptop around $3,000 or more. This laptop at least $1,500 with the upgrades I've done. This laptop around $600, right? And it's on the table with all of these others, and it's very, very good. And the build quality is excellent. Look at this. The screen doesn't go down as much as this one, right? So the build quality is excellent. The keyboard is very comfortable to use. The trackpad is very comfortable to use. It's got a 15.6-inch display, which is excellent for everyday users, right? And also for coders, you're going to see a lot of information compared to something like this. The other thing about this laptop is it doesn't get that hot to the touch. You know, it really is quite cool under load. You do hear some fan noise, you do. But overall, it's very comfortable to use. The only big negative about this one is the screen isn't color accurate. So if you're a software developer, it's great. If you're using a lot of Microsoft Office programs, it's great. But if you are doing photo or video editing, this is not the laptop to get, no way. If you are on the Discord server, sometimes you'll see me writing, hey guys, I'm on the IdeaPad 515, because it's just I just enjoy using the laptop, right? I often talk about on this channel the importance of getting the basics right. Good screen, and as I said, for certain use cases, this is a good screen. Comfortable keyboard, comfortable trackpad, doesn't get too hot to the touch, fan noise, not too loud. You know, this laptop does tick those boxes, and at $600 US, that's fantastic. So these are the laptops that I use. These three are the predominant laptops that I use. And I hope this video really helped you out, because at the end of the day, I get a lot of laptops in, but the ones that I use and I look forward to, I feel excited to use, which is honestly all on this table, these are truly the best of the best. Well, I hope this video helped you going into the crazy buying season that we're about to enter with Black Friday and of course the holidays. If it did, or you just enjoyed it, make sure to smash that subscribe button, click the thumbs up and the notification bell. I would certainly appreciate it. Until next time, I will catch you later.